Hello everyone, I am indeed alive and well, just inconsistent as per usual, and as any inconsistent artist should logically do, I will be attempting a long-term, time-consuming, gut-wrenching art challenge. Yay! And since you clicked on the title, you already saw that this is the 100 Wings of Fire Hybrid Challenge. Yup, I will be attempting to draw 100 dragons. Wish me luck and may the gods of self-motivation bless me for the foreseeable future. If you're new to the Wings of Fire community or not a part of it at all, here's a quick rundown. There are a total of 10 dragon tribes, well 11 if we count Beetle Wings, but for my own sanity I won't be. And the challenge is to draw a dragon design for every possible combination, which means a total of 100. This is the base I made for myself and spent way too much time on, but at least it's pretty. I will be drawing only headshots of the design, and since I have no use for 100 designs, I will be selling them as add-ups on my VGen. So by the time you're watching this, 10 dragons are available for purchase and the link is in the description. I did a poll on my Tumblr on which tribe should be the first, and although the battle between Seawings and Mudwings was fierce, Seawings won. So today we will be doing 10 Seawings. For the future batches of 10, I will also be using the poll for reference, so next up are Mudwings. And without further ado, I say we get into it. First, we start with a pure Seawing, whom I decided to base on the color Smolt. For the head shape and general look of Seawings, I apply a lot of my personal headcanons such as wide nose, flat face, straight, thick, spiraling horns, and lots of fins on cheeks and the front part of the neck. I decided to add some jewelry since, personally, I'm a huge fan and collector, and also, oh my god, jewelry for dragons is so fun to design! Don't ask me what the horn trinket is supposed to be, it came to me in a dream. And frankly, I'm quite happy with it. For the colors, I use Smolt, as I planned on doing from the beginning, and some cyan for the underbelly. There's nothing too fancy with this one's patterns, upper body is darker, lower body is brighter. I added some purplish stripes along his back scales and some cyan tips and dots on his back fins. I decided to give him golden brown eyes, cause I thought it'd really make them pop against the purplish blue. And with that, Smolt is finished. A small note, I will be naming all designs, but of course those names are just suggestions and identifiers for my own ease. And I usually simply the thing I base the characters off of. Moving on to our first actual hybrid, the sea-mud hybrid that is based on the flounder fish. This is mostly seen with the neck shape I drew that kind of resembles a diamond. Aside from generally having a more muscular build, other mudwing features I integrated are a bigger and thicker snout and larger lower canines, since I am one of those people to draw mudwings with tusks. Flounder here also doesn't have glow-in-the-dark scales and smaller cheek fins. For colors, I didn't want to go for brown as the predominant tribe is still Seawing, so I went for a darker gray instead. I gave him spots on the underbelly similar to those of a flounder, as well as a light brown stripe along both sides of his body. I used the same brown for his eyes. He looks adorably silly in my opinion. Next up is the sea-rain hybrid. My inspirations here were two. Pikes for the face, since they are fish with narrower, more predatory features, and the plant named Creeping Jenny. Weird name, I love it. Of course, I had to make her a little crazy looking with such a plant for a name. Creeping Jenny is a plant that grows well around waterfalls and is something I therefore expect to find in the rainforest. For colors, I went for green as a base since it is a common color among both Seawings and Rainwings. I wanted to add light blue as a hint to waterfalls and of course, golden yellow since that is the color Creeping Jenny's bloom with. I also added dark green stripes for a more viney look. And the final touch is a bit of more crazy in her eyes. And now on to my favorite out of these 10, the sea sand hybrid based on angel sharks who are known to burrow in the sand. I need to make a confession. I couldn't part with this guy. I've decided to keep him. I just couldn't. I just adore him. After struggling a bit with the head shape, I ended up giving him a shorter snout similar to a sandwing. His horns are slightly curved inwards and his fins look a lot like those angel sharks. For colors, I went for a mix of greys and browns, with the underbelly being a light grey. I added an even lighter grey to the tips of his fins and splattered some sandy-looking dark brown along his spine. His eyes are dark, almost black, similar to most sandwings. Now for our first Pantalon hybrid, the Sea Silk hybrid. This one is based on damselflies, often found around rivers and marshes. The snout is similar to a Seawings, but it is more narrow and has softer features. The horns are longer and curved, as is common for silkwings. The most prominent Seawing features are the whiskers I added not only near the nose, but also along the eye bridges. I went for a combination of blues and greens for this dragon, with the underbelly being a subdued green, while the accent color along the back and spine is striking shimmery blue. The pattern of the fins is the pattern found on the damselfly's wings. Similar to Smolt, I made the eyes amber gold, and not gonna lie, these two look like they might be related. After finishing everything else, I couldn't help but think this one was missing some, you guessed it, jewelry. So I did a draping chain sitting on the snout and connecting to rings on the horns. And then comes someone badass looking. This is the Sea Hive hybrid, which I knew from the beginning I wanted to base off of honeycomb corals and honey in general. I drew a higher nose bridge as a hint to Hivewings' snout horn. I wanted the fins to look like they're dripping, and I knew from this moment I wanted them to be golden. The scale shapes resemble honeycombs, and I'm really happy with them. I knew I wanted to give this guy lots of, again, you guessed it, jewelry. So I did 2 nose horn piercings, 2 earrings, and horn piercings. For colors, I didn't want to go full honey color for anything but the fins, so I went for a subdued beige yellow with an undertone of green to hint at sea wings. For patterns, I mostly went with intuition here. Because of all the yellow, I made the jewelry black to contrast everything, and I ended up being very proud of this one. Definitely my second favorite. Going back to Pyrean tribes, we have our Sea Sky hybrid. I knew immediately I wanted to draw inspiration from a bird, and I chose one of my favorites, the kingfisher. I gave the dragon a narrower, sharper look and an almost beak-like snout. I mulled over drawing the fins as feathers, but ended up deciding to go for scales that kind of look like feathers, whose tips end in the typical Seawing whiskers. Can you tell I love these things so much? No, right? I struggled a bit with color picking, mostly for the brown stripes seen in the actual birds, but I ended up pretty happy with it. Honestly, this is probably the least Wings of Fire design of the bunch, and the only reason you can tell it's a Seawing hybrid is because of the blue. But oh well, not too mad. And now I present you all a silly guy. A sea leaf based on, that's right, cucumbers. Think about it. Cucumbers are plants made almost entirely out of water. What better inspiration for a sea leaf hybrid? I made the general head shape very round and curvy, which is good for a Seawing design in general. I made the horns curve similar to a leafwing and the eye bridges more profound. They ended up looking kind of cute in a creepy way, which I'm all for. I decided to make the body look like the outside of a cucumber, while the roundish frills resemble a cut cucumber, with the patterns even looking like seeds. I did a similar thing for the eyes, which kind of look like they either have all the thoughts behind them or none at all. Once again, all for it. Moving on to the design I struggled with the most, not because of execution, but because of concept. I have made a few sea night designs in the past, and they were mostly based on abysses and trenches, so yeah, I found it a bit difficult to come up with an original idea for this one. Still, once I pinned down anglerfish, I got to work. I used more square shapes for the general head shape to show the nightwing ancestry, along with many, and I mean many, glowing whiskers. I mean, come on, I had to. I also wanted to give him a maw full of sharp, scary teeth similar to the actual anglerfish. For colors, I felt it default to go for dark blues, but decided to add red-purple accents since some anglerfish are red. For the glow scales, I wanted them to contrast all that, so I went for a very light purple, which I also used for the eyes. And last but not least, we have the Sea Ice Hybrid. My partner suggested I base this one off of Titanic, but since dragons have no idea what it is, I said no. I went for calving ice instead, which is the term used for when icebergs break into the ocean. I knew I wanted to make the dragon white-ish, so I refrained from giving too many Icewing features to the face. I did add generally sharper scales and frills, as well as sharply patterned glow scales. I also decided the horn would be broken off, since the whole design is based on shattering. Whether the other one is also broken is up for interpretation. As I mentioned, I wanted the body to be an almost white pale blue, so I made the fins and underbelly dark blue. Most of his patterns are also blue and are drawn to resemble cracks in an iceberg island, which makes the sharp scales even more emphasized. After painting the glow scales white, they kind of resemble ribs, which I also like. And with that, our 10 dragons are done. Let's add them all to the base. There we go. I hope you enjoyed this video as well as the designs, and I genuinely hope I don't give up on the challenge and that I manage to post more of these. Stay tuned, as I've said, Mudwings are next. I wish you all a pleasant day or evening, and I'll see you next time.